everybody. Make sure to like the video. I'm finally getting around to making this video because I've just been so preoccupied with other things, especially other videos. The Doomsday trailer dropped about a week ago. If you've been living under a rock, then you missed it. If you haven't, then you know. I felt nothing really from the trailer. I didn't really feel anything. I didn't really find anything particularly interesting about the trailer. I do think it looks cool. Like visually, it looks awesome. I love the way some of the costumes look. I like Namor's look especially. I really like the way the X-Men look, especially Cyclops. But ultimately, I just don't know if I care right now. I think I need something a little more convincing. Now, I will say, I am very glad that Downey is doing more of a, I guess, like some kind of European accent to kind of represent Latveria a little bit more ethically. I still think Downey was a dumb choice. I know people are going to not really like that. I think that it should have been Killian Murphy or Mads Mikkelsen. I will die on that hill that it should have been one of those two as Doctor Doom, not Robert Downey Jr., because casting Downey felt like a break glass in case of an emergency scenario, which is exactly what they did. It was a break glass in case of an emergency. Oh, we need to get the people back in the theaters to see Marvel movies. Let's bring back Downey. Let's bring back Chris Evans. Even though they were both very much done after Endgame, they both were done. Yes, Downey is not playing Tony Stark. He's not playing a Tony Stark variant. He is playing Victor Von Doom as Victor Von Doom. Chris Evans, on the other hand, is playing Cap, and it seems to be the same Cap that we saw at the end of Endgame that could make me on there move with him. I still have reservations about that because I would have rather Chris Evans been done and just been done than what I got with this. Because now, if this isn't done well, it's gonna have a very, very unfortunate effect on not so much the character, but more so how they messed up his ending. Because I thought they ended it perfectly for him in Endgame. I thought Cap had the best ending he could have gotten. Now, Doom's arrival is cool. He's got some cool lines. He is clearly making it sure that he is here for business and nothing else. Stop Stormbreaker with two fingers, which is very much on Doctor Doom's ego power trip type thing. That is very much Doctor Doom. He is an egotistical dick. He shows that by stopping Mjolnir with two fingers and just looking at Thor with no picks. Now, I have my suspicion that he kidnapped Sentry early in the film to be able to do this. He definitely has the Sentry's power because that is crazy. I don't think anything could ever give Doom that much power to do that unless he either A, has the Sentry's power, or B, they do a nice little rift on the comic that he took Silver Surfer's powers. But that's probably what it's going to be. Sentry's going to be like the Silver Surfer stand in for this to be a thing that works. So unfortunately, Bob's probably going to end up being a plot device or something. It's definitely going to be a little more than him just kind of because him being there, like Sentry could take on Doom no problem, depending on what Doom does. Doom is a douchebag and is very smart and can do so many things, so it's not impossible. Like I said, there's so many things they could do here. Like I do think that the Russos are very good when it comes to action. They're very good with some character moments too. I also feel like they were kind of like a break glass in case of emergency. They knocked it out of the park with Winter Soldier. They knocked it out of the park with Civil War. They knocked it out of the park with Infinity War. They knocked it out of the park with Endgame, even though I think Endgame is very overrated. So this just makes sense for them to bring them back, bring back Downey, bring back Chris Evans. Chris Hemsworth's already here. We got the big three. We got the two dudes. This is what this is. We got to get people back in the theaters. We got to get the people's trust back. Even though the MCU never really lost my trust completely, I was just frustrated with some of the projects. And I think a lot of the internet overblew some of the bad ones. But I do think that this was 100% like we need to get everyone back in theaters. Now, with the Russo brothers being back again, it is just a good thing to see. I just, I don't know. They did say they would come back if they could do a Secret Wars movie, and that will be next December. And that's the only MCU movie next year. So that's very interesting. Now, I got to talk about the elephant in the room. I'm very happy to see that the X Men are finally in an MCU movie as the X Men. I just wish it wasn't the Fox people anymore. I mean, Look, I love Hugh Jackman to death. I love all the Fox cast: James Marsden, Famke Jensen, Rebecca Romaine, Alan Cumming. I'm glad he's back. Actually, I'm just so happy to see all them back, and that's nice. But also, it's been 26 years since the first X Men movie. You guys are double the ages you were back then. I would rather a new cast of X Men, and that's probably what this movie is going to set up for Secret Wars. Like I said, everything could change after Secret Wars. That's why Black Panther 3 and Ghost Rider aren't happening until after Secret Wars, because I think Secret Wars is going to have a long lasting effect on what happens later. It should, because that's usually what Secret Wars is about. But I love James Marsden. They Fox wasted James Marsden for years. It would be nice to see James Marsden get his due, but I feel like it's just 20 years too late. I just feel like James Marsden is awesome, and everyone, as far as I'm concerned, loves him. But it's 20 years too late. And Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are back. They're in their late 80s. You know what I mean? It's just like I had to say goodbye to the Foxverse at least two different times already. I had to say goodbye to the X Men movies with Logan back in 2017, which was a beautiful ending to that universe. And then I had to say goodbye to it again in Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't want to say goodbye to it a third time. And Deadpool and Wolverine really felt like the most wonderful swan song to the Foxverse, especially with the little end credit scenes, like the end credits, and it's just all the old footage of them. And I'm just like, man, that was such a like that was 2 decades ago. Like I was teared up. I was on nostalgia filled. You know what I mean? It was just a nice way to say goodbye a second time. And then that should have been it. But then it's like, nope, we're bringing them back again for Doomsday. It's like, geez, Louise, why? So it's just kind of like, yeah, the Fantastic Four. I'm excited to see them again, actually, because I loved Fantastic Four last year. Even though I liked the Thunderbolts the most, I did really like Fantastic Four, and that's really all I can say. I mean, I'm hyped to see the Wakandans. I haven't seen Shuri since 2022. Same with M'Baku, so it'd be nice to see them again after 4 years. What's Shuri been up to? Since death of Queen Ramonda and Namor and everything. We get to see Namor again. I want to see how Atlantis is involved in all this. I'm excited for some ideas, but the teams that's lined up, I'm like, it's mostly the Thunderbolts, Sam and his companion. Not really a lot of powerful people. I mean, we have Thor. Sue can be powerful. Namor, that's like really it though. And like I said, Sentry's probably going to get taken early in the movie, so that's a plot device. And Cap, but like, what are we going to do with Cap? So the scale and spectacle is there. It's up there. Cinematography seems really nice. Who's going to die? Probably Thor, if we're being honest. It's also nice to see that Thor is taking that lead role, like he is back to what he was in Infinity War. Thank God. And we can, especially after Love and Thunder being atrocious, it's good to see Thor being kind of like the guy who's leading the charge, because he's the only OG Avenger in that lineup until we see Cap again. God knows if that's just like the last shot of the movie when Cap is like, "Hey man," and like, so we don't know. But again, I didn't really feel much from the trailer. Like even when Cap and Thor see each other again, I'm like, I feel nothing from this scene. I feel like I should feel something, but I just don't feel anything. Now, the movie could change my opinion. I'm not saying Doomsday is going to be bad. I have absolutely no idea if Doomsday is going to be bad. It could be at the least very entertaining. The Russo brothers know how to make a movie entertaining, none the least. So that's one thing. I'm excited for all the comic booky action. I'm excited to see Doctor Doom hopefully get his just due, because we failed this 3 times already. The 90s movie, the 2000s cast, and then 2015 with Toby Kebbell. I mean, rest in peace to Julian McMahon, though. I'm not going to disrespect the man. Rest in peace, man. That was a sad way to go out. But again, I think that this was definitely like, it doesn't feel earned. Is that really to say that? It doesn't feel earned that we're getting this movie. Usually, when an Avengers movie happened, it always felt fairly earned. Like we got the first phase, we got the first 6 movies, first Avengers. Phase two, we got the Avengers characters after the first Avengers. We got some new people thrown in with the Guardians and Ant Man, Falcon, and then boom, here was Avengers Age of Ultron. And then Ant Man pretty much closed out phase two because they wanted to open phase three with a bang. Ant Man was supposed to start phase three, but they pushed it to the end of phase two because they wanted to open up big, and Civil War was the opening of phase three. And Civil War happened, and all that rift and the cataclysm and stuff. The movies of other characters happened. Spider Man was introduced, Black Panther got his own movie, Captain Marvel was introduced, Doctor Strange was introduced. We got all these new characters, and then Infinity War happened, and everyone was together. And then Endgame happened, and everyone was together again. And then that was the big culmination of everything that had led up to that point. And that was like so well done. But I could tell you, Thanos wasn't always completely planned out like that. It just happened to work out and fall into their fingertips, and it worked. This really feels more out left field than anything in that era. So we'll have to wait and see. But let me know how you guys feel down below. Like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all on the next one.